the main event, and it went a while. I'm not going to knock the whole thing, and there was a few spots I wanted to knock it. I didn't see where it was all the way going. But there was some great stuff here, and I think some of the great stuff may have been in spite of some of the other shit. But they had a tag team gauntlet match where it's like Royal Rumble rule. Well, it's more like old King of the Mountain rules from Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Two teams wrestle, and the winner faces the next one to enter, and the next one to enter, etc., until the last one is left.
Rob
Moore came up with those rules 25 years ago. And the winner gets the last place entrance in the Elimination Chamber on pay-per-view for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Holy fuck. It just confusing. They did the New Day entrance. Jesus is all I can say. And they face Heavy Machinery, who have Working Man Tucker and Working Man Otis on their fucking ass of their tights. They're the cleanest. They're clean tights, but they're working men. If they're supposed to be working men, why aren't they dirty? Here's a better idea. Get a fucking better gimmick for these poor guys. They worked their ass off. Their gimmick is so phony. It is a gimmick that is destined to WWE mid-card obscurity, and these guys are talented. So they did some stuff good here. They did a nice delay suplex spot. Big E couldn't get his big ass over the top rope on the clothesline, and they go to break. And they come back to no action. Everybody's down. And Big E makes a cold tag to Kofi. And Kofi makes a nice comeback. It's very athletic. And they did a hell of a spot where Big E boosted Kofi up over the top onto a Fez press, but Otis caught him and belly-to-bellied him, and that got a big pop. And then Tucker drop-kicked Big E out on the floor, and that got a big pop. And I'm just thinking, these guys, these human beings in this slovenly, sloppy, horrible bullshit gimmick, if they were pushed as main eventers and either given a manager as heels or just given a push as baby faces, I know that's what they're trying to do in this match, but without the fucking sad gimmick, they could be main event level fucking talents. Anyway, I wrote, this is better than I thought it would be. And then finally, they hit a double splash, which looked fucking fabulous, on Big E and 1, 2, 3, and I thought it was going to be New Day because I figured they were the names. So thank God that was a great finish and the right team got over. But then here comes Lucha House Party. Who comes up with this shit? These gimmicks. Lucha House Party? Have you... one guy's name was Lance Dorado and the other guy's name was Metallic. Is this correct?
Yes. I don't know who comes up with it.
So they immediately, Lucha House Party starts diving. They hit big dives to the floor and they go to the break. But when they come back, this is going forever. Heavy Machinery just beat New Day, who have been a pretty prominently used tag team. And they beat them. And now they're carrying these guys that are half their size, that are doing all this flippy bullshit. They're having to cooperate with the flippy bullshit and go too long, carry these guys too long. If they're pushing them, which is apparently what the fucking idea of this gauntlet match was, to push Heavy Machinery, they needed to beat these guys decisively. They put more time in, or it seemed like it, with these guys than anybody else. They had the momentum after New Day. They should have smashed these fucking guys. And then Otis beat one of them with a fucking worm and an elbow drop. I'm not sure how I feel about Otis doing the worm, but I know it's fucking modern times. But then here comes the Usos. And you think, okay, here's another team they've used well in the past, right? And they've got some athletic ability. And you'd think, okay, this is going to be fairly good. As soon as the Usos come down the ramp, they go to break on the entrance. They come back after a commercial. After all that excitement, here come the Usos, and they're on an arm bar. They did some quick, sloppy shit that looked like a style clash or somebody didn't want to be there. And Heavy Machinery just beat them. Do the Usos have heat?
I don't know.
They could have put in the time. They could have beat Lucha House Party as quickly as they did the Usos, put the time in with the Usos, had a better match. You would think have a better match instead of what they rushed through. Or maybe somebody didn't want to be there. I don't fucking know. But anyway, all this was so people are now, they're with old heavy machinery. This was working, and here comes Miz and Morrison. And I'm going to say this, John Morrison looks like such a star, he can make Miz look cool somehow. I didn't even mind looking at Miz when he was standing next to John Morrison. I never knew that Miz was left-handed and throws a rotten fucking punch. But the problem I had with this part, this was a tale of two fucking matches. It started really rotten, but ended up fairly good. But Miz and Morrison were both trying to do too much at the beginning to Tucker, who was already selling 3 matches and probably realistically blown up, and he couldn't. They were hitting the ropes and boom, 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 and doing stuff and dropping on him. He couldn't sell it all, and he shouldn't have sold it all. It was too fast for, him to be able to sell all that shit. It was awkward until Tucker really leveled fucking Morrison, and then they lightened it up a little bit, or, livened it up, whatever. They double-teamed Tucker to death. Morrison hit a great flip elbow off the top rope, and Otis made the save. And then some way when Miz and Otis went outside, Tucker small packaged Morrison. So holy shit, they've won another one. And the heel, I thought, well, they'll put Miz and Morrison over. But then the heels get heat on heavy machinery and throw Otis through the fucking barricade, which looked good. But it just, what really hurts you enough to keep you out of fucking commission anymore? Anyway, then here comes the last team, Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. And I was like, what the yes, I've always loved Roode.
Robert Roode.
Well, okay, I knew Bobby, it's Robert. He's so good. He looks so good. He's in such great shape. His timing, his ring presence, his body language. He always reminded me of Arn Anderson. Just an underrated guy. I love Robert Roode's work. But of course, when they come back from the break, Roode's just hit his spine buster on Tucker, and they've missed it because they had to go to a wide shot for a graphic. But Otis is still out on the floor. Roode's cooking. Dolph Ziggler is a master. Ziggler and Roode together, you could tell, were at another level in ring than all the other teams. And they were with it. And then this really picked up. And, Otis did a good job for being a big, fat fuck. I say that affectionately. He started a little comeback on the floor, and he milked going to the cover for the tag. And the heels set Tucker up perfect when they did the fucking triple down. Everybody was in the right place. Tucker hits the hot tag, and people blow. And because Roode and Ziggler both knew exactly where they were, and they knew they were in the right place, so they could feed Otis when he came in, which they did perfectly. It was refreshing to see. And then Otis kicks the shit out of the fucking heels, but Ziggler makes a blind tag and hit one great super kick. Boom, 1, 2, 3. Great stuff, and the people were into it at the end. And Heavy Machinery, even though they have a rotten fucking gimmick that they've apparently been forced to take, they came out better. So this had its blasé moments, but overall it was a good piece of business. Heyman may have had, Heyman, he's on Raw. Bruce may have had something to do with this, but I don't see anything else that Bruce Pritchard would have come up with, except if he was trying to come up with something that Vince McMahon would fucking like. I believe these positions are just figureheads for somebody to fucking blame. Because I don't see anything. And of course, having said that, Bruce will come up with anything that he thinks Vince will like, but it wasn't like any of this was revelatory, and I don't see anything on Raw except stuff Heyman's in and the really important shit that looks like anything Paul Heyman would have anything to do with on purpose. So I think these people are getting entirely too much credit or blame, whichever direction that goes in.